Kendall, you'll count me down, Mosne. Hello everyone and welcome back to your favorite Straight Talk debate series. My name is Marisol Stoffberg and I will be your moderator for today. And I hope you are ready because our future leaders are in the room and we are so excited to kick off today's debate. Last week we were joined in studio by Hage Geingob Secondary School and also by Concordia College, and they battled it out for the first place in our finals, and eventually Concordia emerged as victorious. So today we are very excited because in studio we have Combretum Trust and we have Windhoek High School, and they are battling it out for the last place in our finals, which will take place on 27 August. So please allow me a few minutes just to discuss the dynamics of our debate today, because our dynamics of the debate makes this debate quite intense and also quite dynamic. So please get ready. So the first debater from Team Proposition's side will have a total of 5 minutes for their opening case. Points of information will start at exactly 1 minute into their speech, and at 3 minutes, points of information will be closed. This gives Team Opposition side the opportunity to ask their points of information, but we do ask that they do so in a timely manner, not to disrupt the debate as much. Then after, the first opposition speaker will come to give their opening case, with the same procedures that will apply. Next up, we will have Team Proposition's second speaker, which will then have 4 minutes to do their closing speech. And thereafter, Team Opposition will do the same. So we have 2 learners from each school representing here today, and each of them will give both the opening and then the closing speech from either one of the speakers. Points of information are closed in the closing speech segment, and this time is allocated to concluding of the debate and giving your reply speeches, at least in the last minute. In total, each team has 9 minutes for the entire debate. We also have an open competition running, meaning that our Public Choice Award is always a nice one. And this gives you the opportunity, as our viewers, to pick your favorite speaker and allow them the opportunity to win. How do you do so, you may ask? So it's very simple. All you need to do is you need to make sure that your debater gets the most comments and shares. So you can comment the name of the debater and share this debate on your status, on Instagram, on Facebook, and also please on your stories, and tag MyZone as you go, so we can see which of our debaters is the fan favorite. But before we jump into the debate, please stay tuned because I am excited for what is next. Debate for today. So, Team Proposition, we have Megameno and Charlton, and they are from Windhoek High School. And the opposing team will be Combretum Trust, and they will be represented by Aurora and Arusha. So I am so excited. The current motion that we have for today is as follows. The current unemployment climate in Namibia is increasing, and a number of people are finding it quite difficult to meet their everyday needs. So the motion for today reads as follows. This House supports the introduction of a basic income grant for all unemployed Namibians. So the motion for today is this House supports the introduction of a basic income grant for all unemployed Namibians. The floor is open for you to drop your comments as well, but the floor is also open for Team Proposition to please take to the podium. So our first speaker, you may join us now.
Namibia is a developing country with a high unemployment rate. Therefore, it is extremely important as this would better their standard of living. Which leads me to my keywords, which are, first, what is a basic income grant? Is a form of social assistance, unlike other common social grants. This particular grant is intended to provide an income source to people who cannot access employment. My second keyword is unemployed Namibians. So basically, what are unemployed Namibians? Unemployed Namibians are people who do not earn a living, people who do not have a job and don't earn an income. Moving on to my first argument, which the basic income grant will basically improve their standard of living. We're talking about people who do not. Like I said, it will improve their standard of living. We're talking about people who do not earn an income. So giving them $500 per month will help them to. So giving them $500 per month will actually help them to survive. These are people that don't have access to shelter, don't have access to their basic needs. So giving them a monthly payment will actually help them a lot. Moving on to my second argument, which it will reduce poverty in our country. We have, in this pandemic, many people have lost their jobs, many people have lost their businesses, which means they don't have any sort of income. So if we give them the basic income, this will serve as a startup capital for them. They'll be able to start their own businesses, which this will also increase the economy. Oh, right. So if we do allow the basic income grant, this will better health standards. People don't have enough money to go to hospitals if they have, like, oh my goodness, what? Okay. Yes, like I was saying, people don't have enough money to access to go to hospitals. If we give them the basic income grant, it will better their health because they'll be able to go to hospitals, and also this will serve as an opportunity for people to go back to school, because usually people dropped out of school because for example, tertiary education, most people dropped out of school because they could not afford the registration fees and so forth. Also, the basic income grant would basically eliminate the purpose of other social grants. We won't need no. The basic income grant will also reduce crime levels, because people who do not have money will. Okay, we have a saying that says, "Desperate times call for desperate measures." People will go to other houses to steal things just in order to survive. People will do anything to survive, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, I'm concluding my piece. Thank you.
So that was the opening case of Team Proposition. So please allow us to welcome to the podium the first speaker we have of Team Opposition to state their opening case.
Good afternoon, everybody. First and foremost, I would like to let everybody know that we as the opposition team do not disagree, but we agree with basic income grant, but for countries with significantly low unemployment rates, such as Sweden, or for more developed countries such as the United States. As the proposition team said, Namibia is a developing country, and I want people to remember that, because in my argument you're going to see why that is the key to one of my points in today's debate. We as the opposition team would like to let everybody know that basic income grant does not solve the problem. What is the problem? Unemployment. Unemployment is the problem. So by giving somebody $500 per month, you do not solve the problem, because at the end of the day, I'm still unemployed. If you give me 500 rand and I don't have a house, I don't have food, I'm going to use that money to pay rent, and I'm going to use that money to buy food. Therefore, you're not solving my problem. I am still unemployed. Okay. And we have to remember that unemployment is a systematical problem, and you cannot solve a systematical problem by paying people $500 every month, because you're not solving the problem. Moving on. By paying those people $500 per month, you are shifting the responsibility. So therefore, it's now the government's responsibility to pay people $500, and therefore leading to an over-dependent nation. People will be reliant on the government, and being too reliant on the government is not healthy, because therefore you remove the motivation of going out and looking for a job, and therefore you leave. At the end of the day, you are left with a nation that is dependent on the government, and therefore people are trapped in this system of over-dependency. So people might also say, you know what, the government can come fetch me from my work or from my house, because, you know, they're already paying me for doing nothing. Moving on, I would like to go to the economical aspect of all of this. Inflation. Inflation is the increase in price for basic or for goods and services that are bought in a household or that are used in a household. You know, once you start giving everybody 500 rand per month, me as a business person or as a seller, what am I going to think? Increase price because I want more profit. Therefore, you cause inflation, because that sudden increase in price causes inflation. And the effects of inflation, ladies and gentlemen, is there will be increase in loans. Prices will increase. People will not be able to afford even like the basic necessity, because, you know, that money that you're giving them will be insignificant to what the prices may rise to. And let me let you know, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, for real. If you Google, what is the main reason for inflation in developing countries, Namibia, is government spending. So the government that is already providing for us public hospitals that are free, public schools that are free, you want them to pay 500 rand for sitting on your couch and doing nothing. No, you're not solving the problem here. Exploitation of hardworking Namibians, that is my last point. Exploitation of hardworking Namibians. Basically, since they did not tell us where they're going to get the $500 from, we are assuming that they're going to tax people. And therefore, taxing people, you're exploiting the hardworking people, the people that are bringing income, the people that are bringing tax revenue to the Namibian, to improve Namibia's economy. You are going to tax them for people that are doing nothing. This is our solution. My second speaker will elaborate on this. Our solution is to create a society where somebody can go and sell outside a hospital because the government built the hospital, where somebody can create a cabin because the roads leading to that cabin are working. So moving on to our next solution, my second speaker will elaborate on our solution properly, is to create, to make space for the youth in businesses and even in the parliament. Let us reduce the retirement age, because most of the people that are obtaining those positions are the people that are in those in those workplaces or in those jobs are the elderlies. And with that, I am very glad to, and sorry, last point, you cannot eliminate something that is already present, so please don't tell us we should eliminate social grants, because we should eliminate other social grants. For basic income grant, 500 rand for somebody who's doing nothing. No, thank you. And with that, I am proud to oppose. Thank you.
And that was the opening speech from Team Opposition. So now we call to the podium our second speaker from Team Proposition to do their closing speech.
Panel, today's motion reads as follows. This House supports the introduction of a basic income grant. Now, I think in this debate, what we have all misunderstood is that we support the introduction of a basic income grant. The introduction of people who are poor, who don't have money, who are unemployed. We support them getting money from the government to just get a place in the economy and just provide for their families and so forth. We did not say that we are going to eliminate any other social income grants. Okay, so with that, I would just like to elaborate and clear up the parties involved in this debate. So in this debate, the party that we have to focus on is the unemployed people. Everyone in Namibia who's unemployed. We have to focus on the government as well, because it is part of their mandate to help Namibian citizens and to improve the economy of Namibia. And we're also going to focus on families and the employed people. So I would firstly like to move into my arguments before I go into my rebuttals. So, like my first speaker said, our first argument and most important argument is that it improves the standard of living. People, the standard of living. People in, say for example, in Katatura over there, they don't have much sanitation. So if we just provide them with money, okay, let's say, in Katatura we provide them with money. They can buy more things such as soap, because water, ladies and gentlemen, water that is provided, but not in such a large amount, because we do have things like Save Water. However, we're not fully exercising our right to sanitation with water alone. We also need soap, we also need towels and all that. And with these people not having or not being employed, they are unable to buy these things for themselves. So we are taking care of them and improving their standard of living by providing them with the means to access proper sanitation. So that would probably clear up. That clears up sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that clears up my argument of improved standard of living. But what I'm saying in this debate is not only that the standard of living is to do with sanitation. That was merely an example. So moving on to my second argument, it will help people to apply to jobs, because there are people in Namibia who want to apply to a certain job, their dream job. However, there are things that need to be met. There are certain conditions that need to be met, and money has to be paid. So in this debate, money is the first and foremost only problem. So we are saying that we will provide them with the money to do this. Therefore, we are not going to maintain a constant rate of unemployed people who are constantly going to be supported by the government through money. We are going to give them the means to apply to their jobs. or to their dream job, such as I want to become a pilot, but then first I gotta go to the flight training academy, if you call it. Yeah, I gotta go to flight school, and just to go to flight school, this is a lot of money that I have to pay. So with that, I can probably just get money from the government, save up, and go to flight school, and yeah, bring money into my country. It improves the economy, people. And moving on to my third argument, it also would help people start small businesses. Like my first speaker said, this helps people start small businesses. So for business to start, we have to first provide capital. First, you have to give to the business before. Oh, wow.
And that was the closing speech from Team Proposition, so please welcome Team Opposition to deliver their closing speech.
House at large. The proposition team comes up here and claims that they want better standards of living, yet they only give people 500. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest, what can you do with 500? We can buy the soap they're talking about, but not a better living standard. They agree with us that unemployment is the actual problem in today's debate, yet they tell us they don't want a constant high unemployment rate, yet they do not give people jobs, they do not give education, which is part of the conditions or the requirements that need to be met before you actually achieve the job. So with this being said, I would like to start with my first point, which is our solutions for unemployment, as my first speaker came up here and told us. Our first solution is reducing the dependency on the age group of 60 to 50 by reducing the retirement age from 60 to 50. This then creates job opportunities for younger people, for the youth, and opening job positions for the youth, sorry. And then our second thing is by solving the problem of lack of education in Namibia. And how do we solve this? By building better infrastructure, raising awareness of importance of education, increasing quality of lessons, and so forth and so on. And then in our second solution, we're going to encourage self-employment. What do we mean by this? We're going to fund young Namibians, and this will increase the chances of people wanting to start their own businesses, and this will also increase employment, which is in today's debate, as we stated before, our big problem is unemployment. So if we fund young youth members to start their own businesses, it will increase employment rates for the youth that are out there. And then our third point will be increase accessibility to colleges and vocational training. The first speaker of proposition team came up here and said schools, some parents cannot afford schools and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, there are public schools in Namibia where you can go there for free and go get quality education for free. Our government does so much for us. Why should we tell the government, you need to pay us to stay at home, when we can simply tell the government, improve the infrastructure, improve your colleges, improve your vocational services, so that we as Namibians can get quality education and actually earn money and not tax innocent people out there who work for their money on a daily basis simply because Johannes is sitting at home and needs soap to bath and to go to school or something, as a closing statement came up here and said. This ensures skill transfer. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem is not that people are unemployed. It's people do not have access to quality education, ladies and gentlemen. And this is our problem. So we as Team Opposition came up here and told you that we are going to open jobs for the youth, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to enhance educational standards by better infrastructure, by raising awareness of importance of education, and we are going to encourage self-employment, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition team came up here and they did not tell us anything in their first two speeches, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't tell us where they're going to get the money. They didn't tell us why we should actually agree with the PIG. They didn't tell us why we should actually take their words that they spoke into consideration. Yet we came up here and we gave you solutions for unemployment. We showed you that the only thing we need to focus on is the education and not on the people sitting at home. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the problem with the basic income grant? The problem is it creates a dependency syndrome onto the youth, where the youth will sit at home, become demotivated to go look for a job, and they would rather sit at home and eat the food and the money that they're getting.
And that was the closing speech from Team Opposition. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed today's debate. I enjoyed the passion amongst our young debaters and also the energy that we saw in the room today. So please don't go anywhere, because after this robust and energetic debate, it's time for our adjudicator to take to the podium to present the findings. But before that, let's watch the following ads.
Take our love to the top. If I got it and you want it and you'll never let it drop, all we gotta do is take our love to the top. I will ride for you, maybe even die for you. When I'm loving you, but my heart don't stop. lose ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Yet we keep coming back, 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 keep coming back.
Debate was, and then announce who the best speaker is and which team is moving on to the finals. So in proposition we had Windhoek High, and in opposition we had Combretum Trust. In the motion, this House supports the introduction of a basic income grant for all unemployed Namibians. So from proposition we had they had an argument that they want to introduce a basic income grant to reduce poverty, to reduce unemployment rate, and improve sanitation and access to opportunities. And then from opposition, we had an idea that the income grant does not solve the main problem, which is the unemployment, right? And also how it then creates this other myriad of problems, such as the dependency of citizens and individuals to government. And then they introduce a solution where they want to reduce the retirement age from 60 to 50 to accommodate for young people within these business spaces. And then they also talked about how with the income grant, government gets to tax hardworking Namibians, and they feel like that's unfair, right? So we then deliberated with this, and the best speaker for the debate is Aurora from Combretum, and the winning team is Combretum, team opposition, and they'll be moving on to the finals.
What an amazing round of debates we had today. It's amazing to see our youth so invested and to see them so passionate. And we congratulate each one of them for being part of the series and for also being here today. So we are very excited to see you in our finals on the 27th of August, where Concordia College will take on Combretum Trust, and we will see who will be our Straight Talk champions. But of course, if you want your best debater to be the Public Choice Awards, you know what to do. So please tag them, share the show, tag them on your story, also tag MyZone, and then let's see who is our public's favorite. But that's it from us for today. My name is Marisol Stoffberg, and until we see each other again on the 27th. Goodbye.